Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Magic Square MS-B51 Heavy Gunner, their version of Combaticon Brawl. We'll go ahead and put them off to the side real quick and look at this box, which yes, it is a very G1-esque box. You got Brawl there, and you got the nice grid work and the purples and oranges and the warning, choking hazard, and his name, and Magic Square, and the Brobding Nag. Extraterrestrial mechanical life form changes from tank to robot and back at ages 16 plus, which means not for children. You got Magic Square up here. Over here you got Magic Square plus more artwork of Heavy Gunner. Over here you got Magic Square Heavy Gunner and warnings and hey recycle and no not for children under 3 made in China. Then you got more warnings, choking hazard and barcode, and on the back you have a nice picture of Brawl and tank mode. And hey, some tech spec stuff, if you want that. And of course, their Magic Square logo, and that's box. And of course, inside the box you have the instructions, which are mostly okay-ish, just kind of feel like there's kind of lacking in some regards. There's some things where it's like, why am I doing this and why am I not doing this? That sort of thing. And of course, collector's card and a little plastic thing. Again, tech specs and all that stuff, and nicely made for sure. It's pretty sure this is actually plastic, so nicely made. Of course, I'm noticing most third parties are banning the trading cards now, but whatever. So anyway, Heavy Gunner, Brawl, whatever you want to call him. Yes, he is the first of Magic Square's announced Combaticons. He's the first one, and another thing, which is this is the Toon version, by the way. The toy version has also been announced. It's not quite out yet as of this recording, but yeah, soon-ish it looks like. I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, looking up close here, you can see Brawl's, he's got his gray hair with his gray head with his orange eyes and his crimson mouthpiece there, looking all nice and stuff. Got his green right there, some gray, some nice detailing picked out in the sculpting. You got his tread shoulders and whatnot, and his little hands and a little bit of sculpting there. You got his, gray, and you got the green here with the venting and all that stuff in his feet. You got the treads on the back of his shin, or on the back of his calves. And he's got, of course, he's got his turret backpack and everything, which, is kind of expected and everything. You got the gun barrel and all that stuff. Nicely all folded and compressed. Looks very G1-esque, and yeah, there you go. So like I said, this is the Toon version. The difference between this version and the toy version is literally the box and one accessory. There's literally no other difference, and it's got some people kind of a little upset, which is understandable because before all of Magic Square stuff, all the stuff came in one box. It wasn't 2 separate releases. It was all in one box, and that's kind of frustrating. They're doing it differently this way. Different like this. I don't know if it's there's some reason for it. There's actual good reason other than we just want to get people to buy 2. Because I'm going to do separate reviews as well, and then to find out, it's pretty much the exact same figure, so I'm going to have to figure that one out later. It's probably going to want to be when I just do a separate review when the final toy version is available. But anyway, accessory stuff. He does have a gun, which has some tabs on it, which makes me suspect it might be and pegs and tabs, which makes me think there might be some sort of combination element. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, you could go just, if you don't drop it, put in his hand right there. Like that. You can hold it pretty well. It's dead solid. Simple peg. Straightforward that. A couple of accessories which are mostly pretty much for tank mode and other stuff. Pretty good looking robot mode, and he's very posable too. His head, ball jointed, so left and right, up and down, way up too. Up and down a little bit. You got, of course, the waggle. Shoulders can do a full 360, and you also go outward. About that far, almost the full outward, but kind of sculpting. He does have a bicep swivel right there. His elbows can go more than 90 degrees, like that. And his fists are on ball joints, so, not fists, hands on ball joints, but they can pretty much only swivel because of limitations of how it's molded. At the waist, you have waist joint right there, full rotation. You do have the ab crunch, that far. You can also swing it back like that because of the multiple hinges, and you can use them in tandem with each other. Hips, there's these this kind of does a thing that MP44 did, which the kind of the hip skirt is attached to the leg itself, and what's nice is when I do this, it forces that out of the way, which is good. You get pretty high kick, by the way. Forward, back you get only you don't really get much back. Outward you have the full splits and then a little bit more. You have a thigh swivel right there, double jointed knees, so you get full range there. And feet, you have ankle tilts that far. Not really much of anything else forward or back or anything. So that's pretty much your articulation. Pretty darn good, as expected. And of course, as expected as well. This is Magic Square, so it's made of a nylon plastic. You can kind of see some of the rougher edges, like particularly right there. But it also means it's very, very durable and will not break on you, which is good considering how he transforms and everything. But yeah, real quick comparisons in this mode. Here is, Magic Square's version of Wild Rider. Just, again, a bit taller by a good head and a half or so. Also Magic Square's version of Mixmaster, he's a bit taller, but not by much. And because I just reviewed these guys, here he is with Kang Toys Land Mini. Again, Land Mini's a bit taller, but not by much, I think. Yeah, actually maybe about the same height head to head. And here's the other, pretty much the only other Combaticon in the Legends class, or the only other Brawl in the Legends class. Here's Iron Factory's, what was it, Armor Boar? Yeah, their version of Brawl. It's a bit shorter, but a bit stockier as well. So very stylized, very different takes on the same character. There you go. Yeah. Transformation. Transformation is actually fairly involved, but not too bad. It's one of those things that it seems more difficult than it really is. So first thing first is you want to take the elbow here, bend this forward, take the bottom of the forearm and open that up, rotate the fist in and close that back up, straighten out the forearm, rotate it around to the bicep and then slide it up. And then here you want to go ahead and, they already did that for me, but you want to slide it forward at the shoulder. There's a slider there, which you can use for articulation, but also makes it so his arms sits a little funny. But yeah, slide that forward. So same thing on this side. Tilt the elbow or open that up, close up the fist, close it up in there, straighten this out, rotate it at the bicep, slide that up, and then slide this forward like so. Here what you want to do is the backpack. You want to just go ahead and untab it and just kind of bring it out and down like this. And they tell you to do this, I'm not sure why, but yeah, you can extend the turret out like that, and then rotate it around, just kind of leave it hanging like that, right? Now up here, what you want to do is then take the sides of the torso here and untab those. And also, we want to probably bring the arms out like this, just get them out of the way. It's kind of, there's multiple hinges here. You need to bring the sides out and down like this, and it's kind of used multiple hinges to get it spaced out like that right there. See? Now this, you want to go ahead and fold this forward and fold this forward right there, and then take the head and move it back on the ball joint so it looks like that. This gives you space to get this open up and out of the way. And then you take this and then rotate this into the right there, like that. And then bring this back up on this hinge and then slide it backwards. It is a very tough joint, and sometimes it will be, when you're going back to robot, this will not always want to slide forward. You want to use this. This can actually be helpful to push this piece forward. Anyway, then you go ahead and take these and bring these up over top and bring the arms back down, and they will tab in. There's a slot here for that tab, and there's this tab right here going to that slot right there. You can see that slot right there. And bring this up and just tab those in. The tabs at the bottom are much more secure than the tabs at the top, right there. Now, take the waist here. You want to rotate that 180 degrees and then kind of angle it forward like that, get out of the way. Now this, if this got out of the way a little bit, this might have a difficult time because it does not want to push past this part. So if you accidentally angle it up at any point before this, you're going to be in trouble. So you make sure it's not down like this. Anyways, slide this forward here, and then these keyed tabs, you're going to have to bring this up in the bending plastic. Good thing is nylon, and get those keyed into those slots right there. And you go ahead and rotate this forward and push it down. And again, I have no reason why they make you slide that. It's kind of weird. There you go. That's the front half pretty much done. Now down here at the legs, what you want to do here is this. There's a little panel right here on the side. You want to untab that. Be a little tricky especially if you just cut your fingernails. Yeah, you want to untab that panel, right? And then take this whole green section right here, including the foot, and just kind of untab that and bring that up like so. Just bring that up out of the way. This right here, you want to slide the side here. The tread, that's on a slider. You want to slide that down. This whole thing right here. You want to slide that down and bring that out of the way like this. Then you take this panel. There's a little panel on here. You want to fold that in like that. And then fold this whole thing in against like that. Now up here, what you want to do with the foot here is you want to bring it out like this. So you can then take this piece right here and fold that in. And then fold that up right there. And then take this, there's a panel right here. And unfold this like that. And then fold the foot back down like that. And then this right here, make sure that's all collapsed. And this will all collapse right here. And this tab right here will feed through this hole. That's very important for something in tank mode. So you need to make sure that that feeds through that hole. Sometimes it's going to be a bit stubborn too. There we go. Feed through that hole, and there you go. That's pretty much where you want this for now. Now do the same thing on this leg. Yeah, you're supposed to spread them out, but yeah, give yourself room. Yeah. This leg right here, you want to go ahead and untab the side panel. Sometimes it really doesn't want to. Untab that side panel, bring the whole front and stuff up like that. Get this and slide this down, move that out of the way. Take this panel and rotate that in. Then rotate this panel in like that. Then up here, rotate the foot out. Press this right here into the toe. Rotate the toe in like that. Then take this panel and rotate that up, and then collapse that in like that. And you want to go ahead and then, of course, completely collapse this up, and again feed this tab through that hole right here, like so. You go ahead and straighten the legs out right here. And this is tricky because on mine this really fights me. Which you got to take that peg and peg hole and tab and slot, and they do not like to go together on mine. They like to push themselves right back apart, which is frustrating to say the least. Anyway, and then take the waist piece and go ahead and collapse that back up like so. Now at this point you want to go ahead and take these pieces and bring them forward, and they will tab in. There's this tab here and a tab here and a tab here, which will all tab together like that. Make sure that's all tabbed together right there. Do it on both sides. Same thing, just tab that all together like that. Now here, what you want to do is then take this piece and unfold that right there like that. You go ahead and take this, and then there's this thing you want to go and unfold this, and then unfold this part, and this will go tab over this little. This will go over this little tab right here. There's a little tab right there. You want to do that, so, and then bring this forward on this whole thing, and this will tab in up front right here, like that. Just go ahead and just get that all tabbed in, like so. Same thing on this side. Unfold this, like that. Unfold that. And then unfold this and tab that in. So, and then take this whole thing and fold it forward, and of course tab it into the sides up front, like that. Now down here, they're almost done. Take these tread pieces and slide them out like this. And I found you want to rotate them, and I found weirdly enough, counterintuitively, this part's longer than this part. You see this part's shorter, like this part sticks down more. You actually want to take the longer part and move that over the legs. I find that if you do it the other way, it doesn't like to work, weirdly enough. It's counterintuitive. You think the other way would be better. And if you get it rotated around, and there's a key tab which goes in here, and there's tabs up over here, and you just get that all tabbed away like that. And same thing over here. Slide that, rotate this around, and then collapse that in, tabbing it in at the front and back and everything. Get that all done. And then finally you take the barrel here and just extend it out, and there you go. There's a heavy gunner in his tank mode. And yeah, it is a little green tank as a shock. Big shock there. But yeah, it's somewhat realistic looking. You can see the, A lot of detailing in there. You can see like little hatches and vents and all sorts of this is armor plating and the treads. There is no wheels or treading or anything. It just kind of, you can slide it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There you got some, you know, a little bit of I guess little launchers there on each side or whatever. And of course, as a tank, you can of course move that up and down and rotate the turret 180. Although it's kind of a little off center, so you kind of get that, which is almost like how it's supposed to be. Which, you know, the turret's a little bit more forward facing, but on this one, it looks better like this because of how it's designed. So there you go. Got that. And a couple of accessories here, which is it comes with two of these, which is these little tiny lantern lamp things with little orange dots picked out. On the show, he had one, and it was like always pretty much sitting right here. And there's little peg holes. You can peg them in like that. You got that. There is a second one, and I'm going to go ahead and peg that in too. But yeah, he always had, in the cartoon, he only had one, but you know, you can do what you want. You can put it on left side, right side, both of them at the same time, whatever. Oh, there's a face there. Now it looks like a frog. Yeah, the other things which I kind of... Guns here. There's also this thing, which the guns can attach to. Which, yeah, they peg on here. Like so. Yep, Brawl had his, like, back gun... his back gun thing. That. And this right here, what you do is... that's where these tabs are important. These tabs up here go up in these slots right here. So it's also when you're putting it on, it helps to kind of keep pressure on the bottom, because otherwise the tabs like to slide down a little. But yeah, there's kind of tab over this. See, the tabs are, it's pushing the tab down because it's somewhat of a tight fit. So that's a little annoying. It's a little annoying to say the least. Yeah, if you don't get it tabbed over these, what happens is it doesn't quite like to sit nicely. There you go, I got that. That one came off though, but yeah. It's pretty good, straightforward. You got Brawl with his cannons, which of course can, because they're pegs, can just move up and down like so, if you want. So there you go. That's that. The gun here, of course, is a rifle or whatever. You can also peg in. There's a third peg hole, so it's kind of, I guess, almost like the machine gun, except way too big. But you can peg that into, and there you go. You got a very, very heavily armed, scary tank, although very pocket-sized. There you go. Pretty straightforward, that. It's a nice tank, but, you know, it doesn't really do much except this. But, yeah, it's because one of those can't roll or anything, but looks nice. But comparisons real quick. Again, Magic Square's version of Wild Rider, whatever the name was it Collide? No, I don't remember. But yeah, see, not in scale with one other sports car is not as big of a tank, pretty much. But at that, Magic Square's version of Mixmaster, which again, not really in scale, but roughly in size with each other. There you go, that. And I'm not going to do the King toys because comparing a big old bull to a tank is weird. But here's Iron Factory's Armor Hide. Their version of Brawl is a bit of a very different design philosophy. Much more of a kind of a bit of a different looking tank here overall. And very different looking tanks, but you know, this one's taller, but and all that stuff. And it's weird because he's shorter in robot mode. You can see how much. This helps you really see, because this guy was, you know, shorter in robot mode than Brawl, but you can see how much this Brawl here, the Magic Square version, compresses down considerably. So, and everything. So yeah, it's kind of neat. So there you go. Now, of course, one last thing to do, which is combine mode, which is really simple because there's one other accessory. So first, you're gonna take those off there. Go ahead and take this off if you want. It depends on whether you want that. But yeah, get those off to the side. We'll deal with those later. Yeah, the turret here, it's pretty simple. You just rotate this around. You see there's little tabs. There's two tabs right there. If you see that underneath the turret, rotate it around, and there's slots underneath the turret. You just kind of get that all tabbed in. That will help lock that in for robot mode. And you could whether or not you want this compressed or not, that's up to you. You can do that if you want. I'm going to leave it up. And the other thing you do is right here, there's a little panel right here. You take that tab and bring that down. There's three holes in there, 2 square circle ones and 2 squared off one. And it comes with this foot accessory. Yeah, this is the green, again, this is the Toon version, so it's a green foot. And it's got, hey look, 2 pegs and a big long tab thing. And yep, it's keyed and everything. It's pretty obvious. And you just can take this and push it in and all the way in like that. And there you go. That is combined mode. Yeah, real simple that, honestly. Not a whole lot to do to get there to combined mode from tank mode, honestly. So that's real nice. Yeah, you can see it's got the whole separate foot. Again, the toy version, literally the only difference will be this foot will be a silver piece or gray piece apparently with some different aesthetic detailing. But yeah, that's the only difference. As for the other stuff, you can keep this on here if you want. Probably what I'm going to do unless there's an actual like egg that actually does combine like it might. This stuff is a little tricky because there's actually a tab right here. You can actually tab these guns. I'm not sure if this is intentional or not, but you can tab the guns onto the side of the tank here. Like that. And as for this thing, someone did kind of, oh yeah, you can take these pegs are just the right size. So you can actually peg it into this thing right here. However, someone also noted that on some of the video, there seems to be some sort of gray piece that might come with Onslaught. It's going to come back here and probably will peg into that, which might create a little problem for that. So who knows? For now, if I have it in leg mode, I'm not going to be doing this very often. Until that's otherwise, this might be a place to store this thing, but it's also a chance that whatever piece comes with Onslaught that comes on the back here, which looks like it's kind of makes it more like it's a weird this aesthetic piece. It might use this part. I'm not sure. It might also. I'm seeing this. There's like tabs and you see this tab, and these tabs, these slots and stuff. I suspect it's going to use those. So we'll see how it all works in the end. This might still be able to be on there, but yeah. So that's the foot mode. Not much whole lot to say here beyond what I've already done, but actually I'm going to compare some stuff here. I'm not going to compare the Stunticon Wild Rider because he needs the whole thing for the leg mode. But here's their Magic Square's Mixmaster in foot mode. Again, it's looking like Bruticus might be more or less roughly the same height as their Devastator, so maybe a bit shorter. This is a bit shorter here, but yeah, that gives you an idea right there. That's probably going to be a bit shorter than their Devastator. And again, because I can do it here, Kang Toys. The Kang Toys Land Minion is foot mode, which, yeah, you can see is a bit larger. So I think Predaking's going to be bigger than him, but yeah. Get that. And again, Iron Factory's Armor Bore in leg mode, which is also just as simple. But yeah, you can see there, yeah, these two are roughly the same height in leg mode, but I also think the Iron Factory one is going to be overall shorter, based because he's got a bit squatter proportions overall. So we shall see. And of course, there's head chilling out, but yeah, we shall see how that works out. But yeah, there's that comparison. So that is Magic Square's Heavy Gunner, aka Combaticon Brawl. So here's the thing about this guy. Yeah, again, it's they separated the parts out for no real good reason. I'm not sure why they did it like that, but it's really frustrating that the Toon and toy parts are 2 separate releases. It kind of threw a wrench into my plans for the whole thing, and a lot of people are a little frustrated with that because it feels like it's a way to try to get people to buy multiple copies of the same toy. Because people have seen, yeah, they've shown it off and say, surprise, the toy's identical. There is no difference except for one accessory. So that's a little frustrating. So if you want the Toon toy version, you probably want to wait on that one. It's about to come out as I'm reviewing this. That is about to come out in very short order. I think they said they're claiming end of May, but we'll see. Because they're also advertising the Swindle, which also looks like it's just a toy version. So I have no idea how they're going to handle the rest of them. Might be the whole reason might be because their onslaughts are so significantly different. They couldn't include all the parts without making them really expensive. That might be the reason. So is that. The price, he was just shy of $50 from Show Z, but on like Chosen Prime, he is closer to $80. $80 is a hard pill to swallow, but with the $50-ish that he costs plus the shipping, so it costs about $55 or so. That's much easier. Yeah, at 55 or so, 50-ish, the 50-ish dollars he sells from like Shozi, MS-B, and all the Chinese retailers. Yeah, no brainer. The American price is a little hard to swallow because then $80 for one Legends class figure is a lot harder to deal with. I don't think that's a fair price, personally, but you do you. It is, the robot mode, it looks great. It looks very cartoon accurate. The transformation is a lot more, pretty involved, but not as involved. The instructions make it feel more difficult than it really is. It really is not that hard. Once you've done it a couple times, it's actually pretty straightforward and easy to remember, at least in my opinion. Tank mode looks great. The leg mode, well, it's the leg, you know. That this one is the kind of cartoon, so it's all green. Even though I prefer the toy version, yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. It's like, yeah, at the end, we'll see about how that works out in the end. But yeah, I want to at least touch on those. But I'm not going to do a whole second review for a toy that's essentially identical. That's ridiculous. Well, I'll figure it out down the long line. So I recommend him at the Shozi price or close to that, not the domestic retailer price. But there you go. So I hope you found this review informative and entertaining. Hope, like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitter. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. Check out my co-host, cohost.org/Nemesis-Prime. Check out my Coffee, my Patreon. And I shall see you next time with another video review.